people in positions of power or institutions that are unwilling or not comfortable with disabilities. And I say that by our experience with church, our experience with children's church and their view of our kids' behaviors and not being willing to learn about autism and different disabilities that would account for some of their behaviors. Karate, we've experienced problems with karate because they continue to punish our kids for these behaviors when we try to express to them and give them literature and give them paperwork talking about autism and disability, and they still are really unwilling to learn about it. I normally think schools would be more mindful of disabilities and things like that, but a lot of times they aren't really knowledgeable about autism and things of that nature or disabilities. They seem to be wanting to fit a square peg into a round hole. They want all the kids to be uniform and fall into the same thing. But with autism, our kids are unique. Our kids are not the same as all the other kids. And they sometimes get treated as if they're misbehaving or not falling into line because of their disability, and they're punished for it a lot of times.
I think the hardest thing is when, like, for example, my sister can't really express all of her feelings or her thoughts, and so then it expresses as frustration or anxiety or temper or withdrawal. And so one of the hard things is not knowing how to help, not knowing what's going on. Because again, this person looks like an adult, and yet they're operating at a 7 or 8 year old level, covered by and influenced heavily by either the mental illness or the developmental delay. And so never knowing, exactly how to help. It's all based on the behavior that you're seeing. It's not necessarily internal until you can teach that person, and it's taken a lot of years for everybody around her to be able to give her the language to be able to use. The second thing I would say is really hard about disability, looking at anniversaries, looking at anniversary dates. So for instance, Alisa was asking, why couldn't she drive? She was mainstreamed into high school and went to high school till she was 21. And everybody's talking about driving. Everybody's talking about their permits. Everybody gets to drive a car and use the keys. So you hit that 16th birthday and it's a milestone in our culture. Everybody talks about it. Having to explain that she can never, ever drive. That she will never get married. I'm not being negative, I'm saying it just is not really a possibility. She will never be able to live on her own and survive.
Going to school with people like judging you because you have a disability, but there's some friends that will step up, and then there's some friends that would, there's some other students that will judge, where you just gotta say, hey, I have a disability, but we're all the same. To be honest, we all have something that like everybody has issues, but like in their own way, but nobody's normal because because we all have problems in the long run. Like we're all the same in our own way. We're just different. But school, that's where I struggle. But if I just gotta get my brain going, and then I I could start understanding the work better. But like at the beginning, it's going to be hard for me. But then as I'm doing my work, like it gets better. Like if I just stay focused and stay at it, like my brain starts pumping, and then pumping blood through the brain could help get the mind going and focus more.
So when I was newly disabled, everything was hard about living with a disability. Everything from being really awkward and feeling like I didn't know how to like be in my own skin and deal with other people. Like I would get very kind of awkward or almost offended if someone would open a door for me, and now it's like I'm thrilled if someone opens a door for me. I don't have to deal with it. And when I talk to people about disability, I always say, like, don't get offended if someone doesn't react the way you think they should. It takes time to learn how to manage that. I felt very self-conscious with the disability, particularly once it became visible. And again, it was almost like a source of, like I did everything I could to hide it, to hide having a disability. I no longer feel that way. The only thing that's really hard now is, again, dealing with discrimination and and feeling like dealing with systems when the systems don't work and they hold you back.